What is up, woke family? It's your boy Wokey Bucks, and I'm back again with another live stream. So the topic that I'll be discussing this live stream today is in regards to the negative effects of having too much sexual intercourse, right? So the topic that I'll be discussing in this video today is basically going to outline, like I said, the negative effects of having a lot of sexual intercourse. The one thing people don't realize is that when you have a lot of sexual intercourse, it's going to cause you to feel like you're not getting enough. You always want to seek an outside resource in order to be able to get more and more and more. It's like for people who love to be on drugs. Once you get that first high, you think that you need more and more and more and more and more and more and more of it in order to feel like you're sane, right? So the reality of the situation is that you have to understand that when you have a lot of sexual intercourse, it's your lust talking, right? Let me say that again. When you have a lot of sexual intercourse, it's your lust speaking. It's not actually you, it's your lust. It's your desire to want to have sex, whether you're a man or whether you're a woman. But if we were to really discuss it in regards to whether you're a man or a woman, you see a lot more women having a higher sexual drive, right? Not that men don't have high sex drives, but the thing is that it's not really more or less about having a higher sex drive, but like they're basically able to exercise it a lot more, if that makes more sense, right? Because they have a lot more sexual access, right? They can literally go out into public and ask a man who wants to sleep with them. And most men would raise their hand and would want to sleep with a woman. Whereas you as a man, you have to be able to build your value in order to be able to get to a point where a woman actually wants to sleep with you, where a woman actually wants to take you seriously, where a woman wants you to actually wife her up. You feel what I'm saying? So with that being said, for all of the people out there that are very hypersexual, you have to understand that at the end of the day, you're battling both a spiritual and a physical battle, right? Lust starts in the spiritual realm first, because the thing is that your spirit is not satisfied with the fact that you're dwelling either with God or with the devil. And the thing is that if you're dwelling with the devil, you're going to see more likely than not that the things that God has to offer you, you might not feel like it's good enough, but in reality, it is. So you have to be able to conquer your lust first and foremost on the spiritual level. Once you seek God in his face and you turn to him in everything that you're doing, then from there, you're going to be able to put yourself in a position physically to be able to control that lust, whether it's with you having sex with your partner multiple times. Because I'm going to be honest with you, especially if you're a hypersexual person and you're having a lot of sex, your partner might eventually end up getting tired of that, especially if you're from the woman's side, right? Right? If you're from the woman's side, and let's say, for instance, you're hypersexual as a woman and you always feel the need to have sex, what lengths are you willing to go to in order to be able to get that in which you're seeking? Because the thing is that, for instance, let's say, for instance, one day your partner doesn't want to give you that sexual access. It doesn't want to give you intercourse. Are you willing to go sleep with another man in order to be able to satisfy your desire? Because that's what ruins relationships, right? That's what ruins relationships. Same thing with the man, right? Let's say you're a very hypersexual man and you have to always get it in every single day, every single minute, every hour. You always have to get it in. You feel like you need to, right? At least, because people are going off of their feelings now in 2021, right? What lengths are you willing to go to in order to be able to get your nut off? You feel what I'm saying? Get that pleasure. That's what one really has to ask themselves. So the reality of the situation is that if you're willing to go to any lengths, then that means you don't respect yourself. You don't respect your body. You're willing to do whatever it takes in order to be able to satisfy that pleasure. And that's one thing that you have to work on in order to be able to become a higher value version of yourself. Because the reality is that you're not in control of yourself, right? You're not in control of your lust. And the reality is that the society we live in, they don't want you to be in control of your lust. They want you to have the mentality of, oh, I'm finna bust. I'm finna bust. You feel what I'm saying? They want you to have that mentality that, like, I got to get it off. That's why they tell you to watch porn. That's why they tell you, you feel what I'm saying, to go to the strip club. That's why they tell you to hire a hooker. So they tell you to do all of these things that's going to make you feel like you have to get it off. But the reality is that you have to be able to control your lust. You have to be able to control what is within you already, right? Is that telling you not to have sexual intercourse? That is completely up to you. You have to make that decision for yourself, but you have to understand that there is a certain purpose and a message between having sexual intercourse. You have to understand when you get into having intercourse with people, you're exchanging energies. You're exchanging spiritual angels or spiritual demonic forces, especially if you're having sexual. And that's another thing as well, too, right? One of the negative impacts of having sexual intercourse with people, or having sexual intercourse a lot, especially if it's with a lot of random people. You're incorporating a lot of demonic energy into your body. So when negativity starts to pile on you, when a lot of negative things start to happen to you, you have nobody to blame but yourself. That is why you really need to be careful when it comes to having a lot of intercourse, especially with somebody that you don't know. Even with somebody that you know, you really don't know how they are spiritually, because the problem is that in our society, people don't know how to vet each other out properly. So when negative things start to happen to you, it's like, oh, why are these things happening? Da, 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 this and that. You didn't vet the person out properly before you put your stuff into them, before you insert it or you open the gateways. You feel what I'm saying? And these are the things that you have to really pay attention to, man, because they have the ability to either make or break you. You could have sexual intercourse with one person in your entire life, and that person had a demonic spirit in them, and then demonic things start happening to you left, right, and center, from the north, south, east, and west of the world. You feel what I'm saying? You really have to be careful and cherish that, man. But you're going to realize over time, if you trust in God and you believe in Him and you're working on self-improving in every single aspect of your life, God is going to put the right person in your life so you can be able to procreate with that person, right? People don't realize the true meaning of why God created sex. God created sex for us to be able to enjoy, but not only enjoy, to be able to procreate. People have just completely abused that, right? We live in a society now where they try to use it, where they try to tell you to use contraception, right? Like in the form of condoms or the patch or the pill or whatever. You feel what I'm saying? Or the IUD. You feel what I'm saying? These are all ways to be able to prevent pregnancy, but you can still be able to have intercourse when you want to have intercourse, especially if you're doing it at a high level, right? Which is obviously going to lead towards hypersexualization or being hypersexual. But the reality of the situation is that you're going against what God taught us to do, right? God taught us to be able to have sex, to be able to procreate. And the reality of the situation is that when you go against what God wants you to do, it's going to be very, very hard for Him to bless you with wonderful things in your life. And when things start becoming hard for you to accomplish and for you to be able to attain, you start blaming other people instead of asking yourself, what did I do to have these things happen to me? You have to hold yourself accountable. You got to put yourself on the hot seat. You have to ask yourself, what did I do to be able to have these things happen to me? And what can I do to improve? How can I be able to put myself in a position to become better? These are the things you have to ask yourself on a daily basis in order to be able to level up, right? We all have the ability to do well in this world, but the reality is that a lot of us won't do well because a lot of us have a victim mentality instead of taking accountability for our lives, instead of taking accountability for our actions, instead of putting not only ourselves but others in a position to succeed. You feel what I'm saying? It's not good. We have to stop taking this victim mentality and this victim mindset, because that's exactly how we're going to continue to have negative things happen to us, right? I bet you there's a lot of people out there that, especially a lot of women, because this is the thing. As much as they want to say guy is hypersexual, it's going to be very, very hard for you as a man to be hypersexual and meet your needs unless you're a high value dude. Let me repeat that again. It's going to be very, very hard for you to be able to be a hypersexual dude and meet your needs as a man, unless you're a high value dude. Because let's really talk about the situation. The reality of the situation is that a lot of men are not getting sex out there. Am I saying it's good or bad? No. But I'm telling you, the reality is that a lot of men are not having sex, but a lot of women are having sex. Why? Because the thing is that as a woman, it's not hard to have sex. It's not hard to be able to grant that sexual access. She has to value you. And some might say if a lot of women are having sex and a lot of men are having sex, then who are these women having sex with? These women are having sex with the top 20% of dudes. So for you to be, so listen to me very, very carefully. For you to be a part of the top 20% of dudes, you have to either be high value in your looks, which basically means like your way your face is, your physique, right? You have to be high value in your looks, high value financially. You're making over six figures, or you're making the millions or billions. You can be high value, depending on how smart you are mentally, right? Some people call that sapiosexual. That's what they're attracted to, right? Emotionally, being able to control your emotions in the best way possible, right? As well, too, you're also high value in the type of spiritual relationship you have with the Most High God. These are the 5 things that are going to make you high value. So with that being said, one has to really ask themselves, for you to be in the top 20%, it's not really that hard, but you just got to put in the effort. You got to put in the work. You got to put in the time towards perfection. You feel what I'm saying? So with that being said, you got to use this as opportunities to be able to self-improve, to be able to become better, and to do the things that God has called you to do. But that's not going to happen if you're not doing what it takes, right? That is what it takes to be part of the high value top 20% of men. And these are the men that women want to have sex with or are having sex with. But the remaining 80%, they're not in that. You feel what I'm saying? And if you're not part of the top 80 or top 20%, then you're in the bottom 80. And if you're in the bottom 80, you're getting scraps, right? If you are getting scraps at that. With that being said, you got to use these as opportunities to self-improve, right? You have a lot of people that are in the black pill community and are saying, what's the reason for me to self-improve if women are just going to continue to be thoughts or hoes and stuff? And it's like, bro, like, you got to self-improve for yourself. This is the one thing that we as men have to understand. Those of us that are taking the time to self-improve, you're getting in the gym as often as you can, almost every day. You're eating clean. You're focusing on your relationship with God. You're focusing on how you can be able to become a lot mentally stronger, very mentally strong. You're focusing on how you're going to be able to be in control of your emotions. God is going to bless you, bro, with the right type of woman in your life. And this is sad the way that the society is going to an extent, kind of, because let's be honest, we go back in biblical times. We look at Jesus's era. Let's just say, for instance, during Jesus's era, 75% of the women during that time were traditional, hardworking, feminine women. And probably at most 25% of them were thoughts, were whores, or hoes, right? We flip it now to modern day time, 2022. The reality of the situation is that at least 75% of women in this society now, not only in America, but I'm talking about the world, 75% of the women are whores. They're thoughts. They're hoes. And at most, listen to me carefully, at most, 25% of the women are traditional women. Because the thing is that we live in a society now where women are not looking to settle. They want the highest value option of men that they can get, right? If you're not making six figures, if you're not over 6 feet tall, if you're not in the best shape of your life, I would rather die alone with my cats and be a single independent boss babe than deal with you as a man, right? And there's many reasons for that. You feel what I'm saying? There's many reasons for that. You have to understand that we're living in a society now where the woman wants to be equal to a man when it concerns her, and when it doesn't concern her, she wants to be treated like a lady, right? So with that being said, obviously, that's a double standard that benefits them. Women have to choose what they want. You're either going to be equal to a man or you're not going to be equal. But if you're not going to be equal to a man, you have to show him that respect. Another reason why a lot of women don't show men respect in the culture nowadays is because a lot of men are feminine. Let's just be completely honest. A lot of men are not masculine. A lot of men do not stand up for themselves. A lot of men allow women to treat them bad without checking them, right? If you ever come into an encounter with a woman that disrespects you blatantly, either by the way she speaks to you or the way she treats you, and you do not check her, you're giving her a mental note that you are not high value. You're giving her a mental note that you are not a man of substance, that you want to be treated with disrespect, that you want to be treated with things that are not going to help you to become the person that you know you're meant to become. You feel what I'm saying? And that's the reality of the situation, man. The reality of the situation is that that's what happens when you don't allow yourself to be treated with respect. But when you're a man that's masculine, you focus on your purpose. You focus on the things that are going to be able to help you to get to the next level of your life. Your relationship with God is solid, and you're working on helping more people, living up to what God expects you to do, which is to provide service towards human beings. So in the future, human beings can't say that you haven't done anything for them. Not that you won't have a set of people that are going to be ungrateful regardless. That's everywhere. But my point I'm trying to make to you is that you want to be able to put yourself in a position where God is going to be happy with you, where you're going to be, because trust me, if God is happy with you, especially based off of the relationship you have with him, he's going to bless you in every other area of your life. You feel what I'm saying? You feel what I'm saying? He's going to bless you. He's going to make sure that you have money. He's going to make sure that you have, that your mental is okay. He's going to make sure that you're emotionally straight. He's going to put everything in your path that's going to help you to elevate to the next level. But the reality of the situation is that a lot of men are not willing to do what it takes to self-improve. They don't want to be masculine men. They don't want to be on their purpose. How can you expect a woman to respect you when you're not on your purpose? That's not to say that you don't have a lot of women now in this society that are still masculine. You feel what I'm saying? Because you do have a lot of women in this society that are masculine, and they try to tell you that their femininity is conditional, saying that, oh, I'm not going to submit unless you're the right man. But them telling you I'm not going to submit if you're the right, if, like them saying to you, I'm not going to submit unless you're the right man. It's like you going up to a woman, sounding like a girl, saying, "Hey, um, I'm only masculine with girls that I like." You feel what I'm saying? They're going to look at you like, "Yo, what are you talking about? Like you sound crazy." You feel what I'm saying? So with that being said, you have to be able, especially if you're a man that's on your purpose and you're a masculine man, you have to learn how to dictate the rules for the things that are going to go on in your relationship without having any sort of type of interference from other people or from your girl. Like if you're a man that's on your purpose and your girl comes into your life and tries to tell you the way that things are going to go, you as a man should step up to your girl and tell her, this is not how things are going. I'm not going for none of that. You feel what I'm saying? If you're going to try to disrespect me and treat me badly, you can leave. But a lot of men don't have the balls to tell that to their girl. And then when their girl disrespects them, they see why. You feel what I'm saying? You've got to be able to respect yourself enough to be able to not tolerate BS from women that you're dealing with. But a lot of men don't put themselves in a position to be able to tolerate that or to be able to tell themselves that I'm not going to deal with that. That's the reality. You feel what I'm saying? A lot of men are scared, right? And let's relate it back to the situation, right? If you're a man that's in a relationship with a girl and the girl is trying to have sex all the time, and you're not trying to have sex all the time, probably at most, probably like, let's say for you as a man, you want to have sex like 2 to 3 times a week. And she's always trying to have sex. I'm going to be real with you. You're best off leaving her. Leave her, because I'm going to tell you something. There's nothing you're going to do that's going to satisfy her. No matter how many times you have sex with her, that's not going to satisfy her. Women, on the other hand, it's a little bit more complicated, but I'm still going to be real. If you're dealing with a man that does not want to or that always wants to have sex, and you only want to have sex 2 to 3 times a week, you're going to have to try to have sex with him as much as possible, because the reality is that your value comes from you being able to keep that quality man. You feel what I'm saying? If you're not able to keep a high value man, even though you're going to be like obviously high value, if he's having sex with multiple girls, remember, as a man, if you're able to have sex with multiple girls, to an extent, it does show your value. You feel what I'm saying? Because a lot of men, especially in this society now, they're not able to have sex with a lot of girls. So if you're able, and I'm talking about quality girls, whether it's in regards to their looks or their behavior, if you're able to get them to a point where, like, think about it, the society we live in, the way that women view men is based off of how their friends view them. Let me repeat that again. The way that a woman will view a certain man is based off of the way that her friends view him. If her friends don't have that respect for that man, she can't have that respect. Not that she can't, but it's like it's going to be very, very hard. Because women are creatures of habit. They pay attention to what their friends pay attention to. They engage in the same thing that their friends engage in. You feel what I'm saying? It is what it is. So you have to be able to put yourself in a position to understand. You have to be able to try to fulfill his needs as much as you possibly can. And if there's anything that you're lacking in that you can try to have a conversation with him to accomplish, do it. But if you're doing everything that you possibly can be doing right, and there's still a problem, try to have a conversation with him. If that doesn't work, try therapy. If that doesn't work, then I tell you to respect yourself and leave. Because obviously, it's in a situation now that there's nothing that you can do in order to be able to satisfy him. And the last thing you want to do is be in a situation with a man that you cannot satisfy. If you're doing everything you possibly can, you're cooking for him, you're cleaning for him, you're being submissive, you're being feminine, right? Especially in a society now where they try to encourage women that you shouldn't try to do those things. You should try to be independent. Think about it. The average woman tries to go into a relationship with the mentality that I have to be strong and independent. Like, what if he were to leave me? They're going in with the wrong mentality. And then when they end up being single and lonely while they're in their 30s and 40s, they wonder why. You're going in with the wrong mentality, right? You're not looking for provisioning. You're not looking for a man to really take care of you. You're looking to go in with the same mentality that you had when you were single. If you're a single boss babe, cool, if that's what you want to do. But I'm going to be honest with you, when you're a single lady, you should be trying to prepare yourself for marriage. You should be trying to prepare yourself to be the most feminine, submissive woman that you're going to be, because the reality is that if you get married to the right guy, how do you know? You vet him out. You ask him certain questions. You pay attention to his characteristics. You're going to know if he has a future and if he's trying to plan for the future. With you, if you vet out the right proper dude, if you vet out the right type of dude and you have morals and you stick on your morals, there is no reason why that man is not going to take care of you until the day you die. You understand? No matter how bad the economy is, no matter how many bad things are happening in the world, he's going to take care of you. A lot of you women like to have a victim mentality, like, oh, there's no such of like, I can never do any wrong. I'm perfect. You either take me as I am or you leave me. And it's like, bro, like, you have to realize that as you deal with higher value men, that same thing that you tried to do to other dudes where you tried to finesse them or tried to play them, it's not going to work with the high value dude because he has respect for himself. He doesn't really need you, and he can go about his own business and put himself in a position to succeed. Because a lot of you women try to think that if you leave him or if he leaves you, he's not going to find another woman like you. That's cap. Let's really talk about it. A woman turns 18 every single day. A beautiful woman turns 18 every single day. But high value men are rare. You feel what I'm saying? Let me say that again. A beautiful woman turns 18 every single day. She's legally an adult, right? But high value men are very rare. High value men, probably out of the 95% of the population, are probably 20%, if that's even possible. Because I believe it is 20%, right? Because you have the bottom 80 and then the top 20. So with that being said, if you're a high value man, you should not be settling for anything less than what you believe you're worth. Because if you do, then you're not high value. High value men are not going to go for the stuff that you might try to put little boys through, because he's not a little boy, he's a grown man. But the thing is that with the society we live in now, you women try to take all men as we're the same. We're not. You're going to have to realize that when you come across a high value man, you're going to have to put in more work in order to be able to keep him. If you don't, he's going to leave you. He might not even tell you. He might just leave you like that, depending on how badly you messed up. But the reason he's leaving you is to teach you a lesson. So when you come across the next man, especially if he's high value, if you're blessed, you treat him with respect. You feel what I'm saying? That's facts. I'm going to tell you this stuff on this channel. We're going to discuss the stuff on this channel that most men are scared to talk about because we're woke. We see the truth. We're not hiding. You feel what I'm saying? It's the God honest truth, because we have to improve. We have to get better. We have to continue to do what it takes in order to be able to become the people that God has called us to become. That's a fact. You feel what I'm saying? Like, it's sad that we even have to discuss this, because the reality of the situation is that the average household doesn't train the women to become feminine women. They want you to be masculine boss babes. And I'm telling you right now, you go into a relationship with that mentality, you're going to be single for a very long time. You feel what I'm saying? Especially if you're one of those independent boss babes that's very, very hypersexual and you need to have a lot of sex. You have to be able to control your lust. Because if you don't control your lust, you don't want to be in a situation, especially as a woman, that word is going to be going around that you're a thought. You're going to be used for recreational use. Once you're used for recreational use, you're going to be tossed. And that's going to be tough, because the thing is that you know you want more than what comes with sex. You want a relationship. You want to be wifed up. So you have to start behaving like a wife. Even if you weren't trained how to become a wife, you have to learn it by yourself. Because if you can learn it by yourself, then you're going to put yourself in a position to be successful. So start focusing on the things that are going to be able to help you to become the highest value version of yourself. You feel what I'm saying? It's a fact. I'm telling you. Start working on it, bro. Start improving. Start putting yourself in positions to succeed. You feel what I'm saying? Like, they don't want you to be woke. You feel what I'm saying? It is what it is. Like, we're not slacking anymore in 2022. We're going to start speaking the facts. And whatever happens after that, it is what it is. You feel what I'm saying? And that's facts. If you understand, it's because you're woke. If you don't understand, you're not woke. This is going to be on this live stream. If you like this live stream, make sure you go spam that like button, leave comments, share this live stream with your friends, subscribe to the channel at Wokebucks, WOKEEBUKS. Tap the notification bell to get all the latest videos that I post. Patreon link will be down in the description below, and so will social media links. So make sure you go give those a check. You know what I'm saying? But without further ado, this is going to be in this live stream. This is Wokebucks, and I'm out, man.